When I was 11 years old, my dad brought me to ride his old motorbike, a 1982 Bultaco Sherpa. That's me on the motorbike. At first, I got on and he told me how to accelerate, then decelerate, grab the clutch, and shift up a gear. He got on the back and we started down the road. I could feel the engine wanting more power, so I decelerated, grabbed the clutch, pulled up a gear, and accelerated. The feeling of control over such raw power since then stuck to me. And whenever we go back to Spain, the first thing I want to do is get on my motorbike. 2 years later, a quest, and I had to come up with a sustainable or social initiative project that about something that I loved or a passion of mine. What did I love doing? Riding motorbikes. How could I make them sustainable? Electric motorbikes. I had my quest. Now, what were they missing? Speed? Check. Check. Torque? Check. Gear shifting? Not so much. So that begged the big question. How can I check all the boxes? If people enjoy the same feeling of a manual motorbike than I do, they will not buy an electric motorbike. They will just not enjoy riding a motorbike anymore because they don't have that feeling of control over their speed or just the feeling of such raw power on the actual motorbike. Electric motorbikes are new, amazing machines, but in general, they cannot compete with normal motorbikes. The first idea that I had was to make this was to combine a gearbox and an electric motor. But I encountered problems related to overall functionality as well as the gearbox being too heavy. Because on electric motorbikes, how much the actual thing weighs is a lot about how it's going to work. So I started thinking of ways to be able to do it, and I thought of using a similar mechanism to an accelerator, the thing that you have on the motorbike to go like this with your wrist, and an old bike brake for the clutch. This would work, and this would give you more or less the same feeling of a manual motorbike, and it would work almost the same way. One day, I was researching about electric motorbikes and found a company called Bramo. They made electric motorbikes for a couple of years now, and they made one called the Bramo Impulse, which is this one here. It's an electric motorbike that can shift gears, which this showed me that more companies had found the problem that I had with people not enjoying riding electric motorbikes and did something about it. But they didn't do it the way that I wanted to. They did it in the way that here where the motor is, the gear shifting is incorporated. It's inside the motor, which means with that bike, you can only use that motor and it can't be compatible with any other electric bikes. What I wanted to do was be able to have any electric motorbike, anyone change any electric motorbike to be able to shift gears. I thought of using the ramps on an electric motor to simulate the engine needing to shift, because electric motors have ramps because if it's either, you can't see the letter in the middle. It's either ramps or this happens with the electric motorbike, which no one wants to happen. I drew up a possible way to have something mechanical, like the gear shifter, connect electrically to something more electrical and something that could be used within electronics, like these buttons over here. So I got a little electric motor, some alligator clips, a battery, and switches to test my theory, and it worked. All I needed now was the right controller for the job. And after doing a little bit of more research, I found a company called Arduino. They made open source hardware and software in the form of microcontrollers, which were easy to program and use. After a bit more research, I found this little guy, Arduino Uno. This is what I bought, a bunch of wires, a bunch of other electrical stuff, which I'm not going to bother explaining, the board, and where to put all the wires. So I did some more research and found it would be the perfect kind for the project that I was doing, and after asking some more people, including Pac No One and some friends of mine in Spain, I found that it would be completely perfect and it would suit this project well. I started making the platforms to hold the Arduino board and all the electronics in the makerspace. I welded everything together, finished up the programming, and had it almost done. I just needed to do a couple more little measurements and making sure that all the code was compatible with any electric motorbike on the market. So how my project works. My project works like this. Here, the little yellow square is the actual place where the Arduino board is housed, or the microcontroller is housed, and where it is connected to the rest of the motorbike. Here in this little green dot, that is where the actual motor is, and that's where it allows the motor to go faster or slower, letting it know if it can shift up a gear or not. This blue circle, is where the actual shifter would be housed. It'd be the part that you pull up with your foot to actually be able to go up or down a gear. This red one would be the connection to the battery, letting the battery know how much power it can expend and how much power it can overall use. And this other blue circle is the clutch, letting you know when you can clutch to go up or down a gear. So what did I aim to do? What was my quest for? My final project was a proof of concept to prove that it was possible for any electric motorbike to be able to shift gears. So what for? What was the purpose of this quest? Why did I do it? Well, my quest was aimed to make electric motorbikes more appealing to larger audiences and letting people that love that same feeling of control over such raw power on a normal manual motorbike that I did be able to have a more eco-friendly option and overall enjoy riding electric motorbikes more. With my quest project complete, I can finally check the last box. Yeah. Thank you.